Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Press Pause with Jouhayna and Peanut. So on today's episode, we have 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐸. He's a dog and human coach, and he specifically requested I keep my favorite boy with me on the episode. Yes. Welcome to the show, 𝐿𝐴.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I met you in COVID, and you were the only dog trainer who agreed to show up to my house when I got Jojo the puppy, and he was driving me crazy, and I was like, I just need professional help. And I love that you trained not just me, but my husband as well, and the dogs. And we all learned so much from you. So I just love what you do. I've loved watching you grow over the years, going from working for a company and then starting your own. And mashallah, the boys always come to you, or not to you, but like your...
To us.
Yeah, so to dog psychology school. Yeah. Every time we're doing a shoot, I'm like, let them go get educated, but I also get educated and learn from guests. So
true. Last time I came here and picked them up personally.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you came to drop them off. Like, I wasn't expecting you. So I opened the door. I was like, 𝐿𝐴,
yeah,
I'm so happy to see you. Come on my show.
Yeah, and I said yes immediately.
Yeah, I love that. So before we begin, we start with a rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always ready.
Peanut, are you ready?
When you work with dogs, you have no other choice.
Exactly. Okay. I'm going to flip this 1 minute sound timer, and you just tell me the first thing to pop into your head when I say a certain word. Ready? Okay. Pets.
Dogs.
Year.
2019.
Love that. Month.
March.
Emoji.
Smiley. 100%.
Happy place.
House. Home.
Yeah, I love that. Board game.
Chests.
Aroma.
Vanilla.
Dream job as a kid.
Dentist.
Oh, really? Oh, what a shift in career.
Imagine, right?
Phone application.
I hate phones.
Oh, you hate phones? Done. I take that as a response. Bucket list item. Like something.
Retired in a boat.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Superpower.
Friendship.
Yeah. Dessert.
Chocolate mousse.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And that's all the time we
have. So good that I hate it. Okay.
Yeah. Story of my life. So, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, of course. So my name is 𝐿𝐴. I'm a dog behaviorist. Mm-hmm. I'm 40-something. I lost count. And I love dogs. Living in Dubai for 5 years now, but I already worked with more pets before. Mm-hmm. So in total, about 10 years or 9 years to rescue animals and helping them as much as I could. Mm-hmm. And 6 years doing it professionally, 5 years in Dubai.
Oh, that's wonderful. And how did you come to Dubai?
So I was running my own small business in Dubai, in Portugal, mm-hmm. and the owner of one company in Dubai called me in, and I didn't have a lot of experience. So, but she said, "Look, I think there's progress for us to do," and she invited me in, and I came and I worked as much as I could to be a good dog trainer.
Yeah,
and it worked pretty well.
I think you're a great dog trainer.
Thank you.
You are a dog whisperer, because I remember when we got Jojo as a puppy, I never had a puppy before. We always adopted adults, older adults, like 5 years plus. So the first time I had a puppy, I was like, oh no, this is overwhelming. He's cute, but it's too much. And you showed up, and in minutes, he changed for the better. So you really are so good at what you do, and I feel like you're doing what you're meant to do. So if we were to press pause on your present day, what does it look like?
So my present day look like, so I have a beautiful wife. I have 4 dogs now, adopted a small one.
Wait, didn't you have 3 when I saw you like a week ago?
Yes, I had 3, but my wife wanted a small dog.
Okay.
And one of my clients said, oh, maybe I'm not handling this dog. And I said, please, if you cannot handle this dog, don't give her. Please don't give this dog for adoption. Otherwise, I'll take her. So she took this very seriously.
Oh, okay.
And she said, okay. And I had to convince my wife. It wasn't very hard, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when straight away, my wife saw and said, it's for us. And I said, okay, yes, it's fine.
I love that. What breed is that? How big is it?
It's a Cocker Spaniel, very tiny Cocker Spaniel, beautiful, beautiful female.
Oh.
Now, it's me and my wife, 2 males and 2 females in the house.
I love it.
So I have a dog training center in Jebel Ali. We have about 20 people working with us. We have 7 trainers, handlers, staff. We have social media people. So we are becoming a proper business. Unfortunately, I'm becoming more of a business manager than a dog trainer. But we're still helping a lot of families.
Oh, you're helping so many families. Like anyone I know who gets a dog, I just send them your number. I'm like, mention me and tell him he's going to change your life. Everything's going to become better. Like really and truly, because this is how I can manage to have 3 dogs. Like I remember recently I had to do, I was doing like a group coaching session, and I was somebody who was being coached, and the coach asked us to do 2 truths and 1 lie. So I said, I'm a Capricorn, I have 3 dogs, and I love scary movies. And everyone said, oh, the lie is she has 3 dogs. This Emirati girl doesn't have 3 dogs. Okay. And I was like, no, I don't like scary movies. And they're like, what, you have 3 dogs? How do you manage it? You.
That's nice.
Yeah. So what would be 3 tips that you can share for the audience for new dog owners, or even somebody who has older dogs like me? He's like 14 years old now.
So every dog has very specific characteristics, right? So let's talk about what's most important for dog owners to understand. Dogs are social creatures. Do not keep your pet inside of your house without a lot of exposure to the environment, because this can develop behavioral issues like fear or eventually fear aggression. So second of all, make sure that your dog listens to you, okay? Sometimes they say we have to create a communication line between owner and dog that the dog understands, because they don't speak English. So that's the second advice. And third, be happy with your dogs. Love them. Give them a lot of love. I'm not into the super highly obedient pet. I'm into a super highly environmentally inserted in your lifestyle without having to bother you. And that's what I feel. Communicate better with your dog. Make sure that they understand you, and you have a happy life at the end of the day.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's the inside dog because he's so much older. And then the other 2, they have their own little dog house outside. So
Your own little house, yes.
Isn't this the best guest ever?
Yes, I think he likes me.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we were to press rewind into your life, what's the first memory that you can think of and what your childhood was like?
Okay, first memory that I can think of, it's my grandmother's house in Brazil, in the middle of the jungle. Beautiful house. We had a parrot, and this is the first thing. And I knew I loved animals right there. We already had like 20 dogs, because my family, they used to hunt, and they had the hunting dogs. So
oh wow,
that's the forward, not forward, backwards.
And what breeds were these dogs?
So I don't really I don't really remember, but probably some mixed kind of breeds. Big dogs, mainly big dogs. I have a passion for all the dogs, but big dogs are which I grow off. For me, bigger dogs are more fascinating.
Yeah, I also grew up with a lot of animals. My mom was a vet. She is no longer practicing, and we would adopt so many because people would just come and they're like,
of course,
they'll just dump them on us.
Just like us. We have now 8 dogs at the Center for Adoption. So if anyone wants a dog, let us know. We can feel free to come and check the pictures. And
those dogs are trained as well, right?
Yes, all the dogs are trained. They had the free training, free follow-up, and they will continue to have free training and daycare services as well with us free of charge.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. So I grew up with a lot of animals as well, different sizes. And I think the first hunting dog I met was when we went back to Lithuania to visit my husband's family. And it's this like massive Cocker Spaniel. Yeah. And they were like, oh yeah, we hunt with him. And I'm like on the ground playing with him, like, I love you, buddy. And they were just looking at me like, who's this weirdo?
Well, it's a weirdo that loves dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. And then what was your childhood like? Where were you raised?
So I traveled a lot. So I traveled a lot when I was a kid. But let's fast forward to the point that I decided to stay in Portugal. And my life in Portugal was pretty straightforward. I lived with my mom until 18. And then after that, I decided that I'm independent enough to live alone. And of course, some things went pretty well. So others went sideways. But I think that whatever happens in the past makes me what I am today. Yeah. And I basically grow up in Portugal. I had school there, I worked there until the moment that I decide I'm done with people. I want to work with pets. Okay. So I resigned my overpaid job
Oh, okay. What were you
Yes.
doing that was overpaid?
So I was working in a company called 𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐸 from Portugal, and I decided that I'm done. Excuse my French, I hate people. And then I said, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Someone said, look, you always rescue pets. You always help them. Why not you just move forward and do something that you love? And I told my mom, and she said, you crazy then?
Yeah.
I said, if I make money enough to eat, that will be fine. If I'm not millionaire, I'll be happy anyway. So,
Exactly.
and this is here I am today.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Exactly. I love that you took that leap of faith because not a lot of people have the courage to do that. Like, I'm one of them as well. I'm just like, I will continue to do shift work.
All my friends told me, you are crazy. And I said, yeah, I knew this before. So you knew this before. So this is no news for you.
Yeah.
And then when I said I was moving to Arabic country, that dogs are not very welcome, they said, you lost your mind. And I said, yes, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to see it. And I have one chance, and I'm going to be successful. And they're doing pretty good so far.
Yeah. So when you mentioned that you wanted to be a dentist as a child, like what inspired that? And then you ended up in energy as well. Like how did that happen?
Super nice question that nobody ever did to me. And the thing is, I used to be so scared of dentists.
Yeah, I don't like the dentist.
So me neither.
Yeah.
Let's face it, I still don't like dentists, okay?
Yeah.
But I went to this doctor. I remember so well. I was a kid. My mom, she took me to this dentist, and he made me like the dentist. I loved it when I was a kid. I loved it to come to this. And I said, I want to be like this guy. Because I love him.
Yeah.
I didn't like he touch my mouth and my whatever needs to be done. But he was so nice. The way he handles it, the way he talks to his customers, I said, nah, I want to be a dentist.
That's beautiful.
And then just, life that not always does what we want. We just need to get over it. But luckily, I took the decision to change early on. I'm not a young person, but I took the decision to change early on, and I did a very good choice.
Okay. And then how did you end up, you mentioned you were working in energy?
Yes. So I'm a very communicative person. I like people, and I like to communicate with them. And I started doing sales in Portugal.
Okay.
I thought sales are nice. I like sales. I like people. I like talking to them. And I'm a very communicative person to begin with. And I start sales, and I start being supervisor. After supervisor, opened my own sales company. And after that, I just said, okay, too much responsibility at 24 years. And then I got invited to work as a team leader. I went out for supervisor, and I ended up being manager for my own region. So it's good. So sales went pretty good.
I love that. You're so ambitious. Like you're like, I decided to try it, and then I ended up managing it all.
Yeah, I'm every single time that I put my heart and soul into it, and I think this is for everybody. If you really put your heart and soul into it, you just don't, there's no other choice.
Yeah.
My grandfather always said, do something that you love, that somebody will pay for it. Even if what you love, it's not necessarily the most, most fascinating thing in the world. Somebody will give you the credit for it. And, well, things are going well. And I think if anyone there is listening to this and you have a passion, try to go for it. I think it's...
I couldn't agree more. Like, even for me with my career, so my full-time job is actually air traffic control officer. And
I love it.
Yeah? Oh. You like aviation?
I love the video, the airplanes. I love the videos. I love the communication with the air traffic and the pilots.
Yeah.
I even sent you a few already.
Yeah, you have.
Oh my God, I love it.
So with air traffic control, it's something I got into by accident on purpose. And I remember when I got into it, I was 19 years old. I didn't really know what I signed up for.
Okay.
And then I showed up, and I was like the only girl in the whole building. And I was like, okay, they gave us so much information. And I remember it was really difficult. And the first week, they test you to see if you can handle the pressure.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Super demanding.
Yeah. So I agree with what you mentioned earlier of if you really commit to something and you give it all your heart, even if all the odds are against you. Like I was this little Emirati girl from Ajman who came to Abu Dhabi and was like, all right, well, I've showed up to do this job, and it's a male-dominated industry. And I gave it all my heart. I had no plan B to fall back on, and that now I've been doing it for 11 years. So, I completely agree with your take on doing that. And you mentioned your grandparents. Were they a big part of your life growing up?
So, yes, they were. So that I have, from my mama's side, actually my mom, when she came to Port, when she moved from Brazil to Portugal, I lived with my grandfather, and my grandmother had died already. And I had him as a huge reference because he had everything. And he was such a simple person as far as I remember. And I think it's kind of a male reference that I really had from my mom, in this case mama's side, because father never been into my life. But it's like a fatherhood kind of thing. And this is what I had in reference. So it's just my go-to reference for everything.
I'm glad you had him as a role model.
He taught me so many good things. He always I do this with my clients. He always gives me a real, as you say, fabula, that there's something that, it's a story, but it in real life is the same. So he always gives me the story that means something in real life. And I will always keep it in my mind because you can never forget the story applied to your real life.
And you recently got married. I remember that's something we caught up on when you came over to the house. How's that been? How was that journey?
It's been amazing. I found a fantastic wife. Her name is Marina. She works in HR, which also is very handy for the company.
Definitely, yes.
Yes. And she's from Germany. She has a beautiful soul. And I trained her dog when we started, when I started in Dubai. And then we caught up 2 years later, and we fell in love with each other. We have one date, and we immediately started living together. And after 1 year, we got married, and we are happily ever after.
How did you know it was her? Like she was the one?
I think when a relationship has no troubles, you kind of understand there's peace in a relationship. No German wife, it's peaceful. But she's beautiful soul, and we understand each other, and that's it. And like everybody says, happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah.
And she's happy, I'm happy.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I agree with you. Even when I met my husband, and you've met him as well, we're completely the opposite to each other, but he brings so much peace to me. Like yesterday, I was just having a really overwhelming day, and my mom saw me. She's like, "Oh, you're so scattered. Get your act together." And I was like, "Okay, Mom." And then after Andy was done with work, we all went to dinner together as a family. And then I talked out what I was thinking with him, and immediately it just diffused. And I just felt so much better. And she's like, "Oh, he's such a grounding force." And I agree. I feel like, anxious butterflies doesn't equal a positive romance. It just needs to be chill. That's a green flag.
Yes. So yes, even yesterday we were home, and my wife said, "What time are you coming?" She was in Abu Dhabi, and I said, we never know. Yeah. And she said, "Come, I just need a nice evening with you, sitting on the couch."
Yeah.
And I think it's when you feel that you're safe. That's why you ask me a place.
Yeah.
Because it's literally the place that we feel, and I personally feel.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. Like, I think some of the best dates that Andy and I have had is we tell ourselves we just need a day. It's just me, him, the dog sat on the couch watching television until our brain rots, pass out. And the next day we've woken up, I have an Aura ring and it says restored, readiness level, like 86%, So like really the effect of being around the right person and being with them and just enjoying the mundane. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's so nice. And travel. Yeah. So for me, travel is like recharging, right? So when you're a company owner, you don't have days off. Come on, let's say it. Oh, I'm going to have a weekend. No, you're not. Phone will still continue to ring. Things are going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
And for me, recharge. When I come home, I recharge. But then I have a break. My break is flying, going away, and seeing new things, diving in love. When I'm on vacation, I'm also into animals.
Oh, of course, yeah. So from land to sea.
Yes, from animals in the air, from land, for animals to underwater, yes.
Yeah.
I love them.
So how did you get into diving then? Was it just, you made the decision to take a class and...
My wife.
Oh, okay, all right.
So actually it was not only my wife, but she was the driving engine that makes it happen. One of my best friends now were my client, and he owns a dog called Scuba.
Okay.
And he's the scuba instructor. And he just put this amazing hobby in my mind. My wife, when we started dating, for one of the first dates was, I'm going to take you to scuba diving.
Oh.
And I said, yes, let's do it. Because I already had it in my mind. And since then, I already dive in all the continents and see a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Not all the continents, almost.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite?
Diving? So it's the way you see things, right? So most people will say that big sharks are super nice. Some people say that small things are okay. So I just like the sense of being in the water, free. You float, you just go up, you just go down, you control what you're doing. And it's the sense of calmness that I love it. And when you're down there, you're not thinking about life. You're just looking at how graceful the turtle moves in front of you, how pretty it's a colorful fish passing in front of you, or how majestic is a whale passing right in the side of you, and you're saying, oh my God. So for me, I love being in the water. It's not about, but Maldives, of course, it's the place with more interesting things in one go.
Okay, all right. Oh, I love that. I love that you got to experience something new with your wife, your now wife as well. That's beautiful. I want to know another lesson from your granddad, because you said he had so many stories. So can you share a story from your granddad?
Yes. So, moving for long story short, I did something very bad.
Okay.
He came to me with the board. He told me to nail 3 nails in the board, and 3 nails were in the board, spot on. And they said, now remove the nails.
Okay.
And I removed the nails. And then he showed me the board and he said, see, this board, it's exactly like you and Grandpa's relationship. So you did something wrong. I am your grandfather. I'm always going to be here to forgive you. So remove the nail. I forgive you, but the hole's still here. You are forgiven because I love you. I'm always going to forgive you, but the hole's still here. Yes, it can be covered, but you did the hole. It's here. It will never go away because the hole was done. And think, every time you do something, think about it. You are going to make a hole in someone else's life. And since then, every time I do something, my first thing is this going to hurt someone else? Is this going to have consequences in someone else's life? And I took this with me my whole life. Every time I do something, what the other person will feel about it. What is this have consequences in someone else? And I always keep this with me. And this is the strongest one. I will never forgive this one.
I love that. That is so beautifully said. And it's so nice to hear that you had somebody like him in your life to teach you something like this.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I truly think he's a model that people should listen.
I completely agree. He sounds like he has so much Nina.
He could have done so many things. He hit me. But my cousin was the older one. I was younger one. And I'm pretty sure my cousin got a few. We use Havaianas to hit the kids in Brazil. So I'm pretty sure he got some Havaianas on the back.
Oh, yeah.
So, but with me, he just said, look, I don't want you to be sad. I just want you to understand that this is something that you should be aware of.
Yeah.
You make grandfather sad. You want grandfather sad. The hole is done.
Yeah.
You can cover it. Yes, I can forgive you for sure. But it will always going to be here. So think about every time you do something, who are the consequences for that?
Yeah.
And I always took this with me, of course.
So beautiful. I love that. I'm going to carry that with me as well now.
I think I'm going to carry this with my kid, right? So we're going to have a kid. At some point, we're going to have a kid, of course, and I hope not very long from now. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to carry this forward because it's such a nice way to say that you have to mind your decisions because you're decision. And I was like 6.
Okay.
And I kept it. If you would have said that Grandpa is very sad with you, you hurt Grandpa, I would have said, okay,
Cool.
Cool. Moving forward. What should I do next?
Exactly.
I know, and then
What's next on the list of things to try?
yeah, it's true. And I always carry on, and I'm sure I will never forget.
Exactly. I love that. That's so beautiful. Is there anything else you'd like to mention on the show that's just in your heart to share?
I think we should face things with a smile on our face. I think that's everything. It doesn't matter if it's bad, if it's good. Face it. See the bright side of it. If you see the bright side, you're going to be able to enjoy it. You're going to be able to actually do something. Even if it's not a positive thing, you need to face things in a different way. So for me, it's smile. It's the first thing that comes to my mind.
I love that. So if we were to press fast forward in your life, what do you envision?
So there's several fast forwards, right? So I'm a very goal-driven person. Yeah. I had a goal to do my own. When I decided to resign from the company that I was working with, my goal was to build my own business. But in a year I wanted to build my own center. So my fast forward idea for the next 10 years is to have a few training centers in GCCs.
Okay.
So we already talking to a few people for other centers in other countries around us. Okay. But this is for the future. Fasting forward, I envision myself in a boat with a nice island and with my wife, my dogs, and a baby boy. Girl.
Yeah, inshallah. I hope this all works out.
Oh, yeah, for sure it will. We just have to continue.
Exactly.
Focus on the goal.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for sharing everything.
Yeah.
Really and truly, you have been somebody who has made my life so much better. And, the other day we had our friends came over and they have 2 dogs. And I was like, yes, 5 dogs in the house. I'm so excited. It was overwhelming because there were 2 German Shepherds. One was a German Shepherd mixed Siberian Husky and the other one was a pure German Shepherd with the other 3 dogs. I was like, okay, this is overwhelming, but I love it. It took me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
So I was warming up to the idea of possibly adopting another dog, but right now we have such a good vibe in the house. Like the 3 get on so well. We know how they roll. So to bring in a new dog, I feel would be really overwhelming. But I can't wait. Like hopefully we reach a state where we're ready to take on another dog, but if we do, give me the confidence.
I usually say, if you have 1 dog, it's hard for 1 dog. If you have 2 dogs, it's hard for 10 dogs. So it's not the same thing to try 2 dogs rather than 1. And 3 dogs are quite challenging. So if you're planning to have another dog, make sure that your environment is perfect.
Yes, yeah.
Because 1 dog can teach the other dog unwanted behavior. So
that's very true.
So for anyone listening there, if you have 1 dog, don't think about having a second dog unless your first dog is very good already.
Yeah, true. I mean, Peanut, he was great. He was such a good boy
Yes.
when we had him. And then later I was like, in COVID, I was having a panic. I was like, he's getting old.
I remember.
And then that's why we got Jojo. And I was telling you the story as well. I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. And then Charlie was by accident. So
I remember when you called me for Charlie, I said, oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, because my friend, like we studied together and his health was deteriorating. And he's like, Joe, you're the only person I can trust with my dog. Because I helped him rehome another one. And it was actually somebody we work with as well who took in his other golden retriever. And then Charlie was his OG first baby,
Yeah.
And he's like, Jouhayna, I don't trust anybody else. He's like, I know how good you are. And I was like, I need to see how the dynamic will work. Because it's literally small, medium, large. Like I have every size dog in the house.
True.
Yeah. So, I was like trying to think, I was like, is the flap door going to fit him? Like there were so many things I had to take into consideration, but you showed up, you made it better. You made me a better parent, P-A-W, parent. And you've given me, the dogs, and even my husband the confidence to say, we know what we're doing. So.
Yeah, it's true. So all the trainings that we do, you know it pretty well. It's focused on knowledge. We don't focus on physical. Yeah. We don't focus on anything rather than knowing how to communicate with the pets. And it worked out pretty well.
It really did. It really did. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to share all this knowledge and to share the wisdom of your grandfather. And
he was a great person.
I couldn't agree more. I wish I could have met him. So yes, and for everybody tuning in, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode, especially with our very special guest. And tune in next week. I've put on a little coming up next week video for you to see what's coming up in the Burj Banter episode. Stay tuned. Oh, everything fell. Do you want to come on my show? You have so much knowledge. And you're like, yes. Or she'll say, I don't know that one.
You're a forgiving person.
I like learning new things, and then when I figure it out, and if somebody else doesn't know about it, I call it a Joe hacks.
But I think that all wives, when they get quiet, something is wrong.
I seem calm on the outside, but on the inside, I'm just...
What would you do if you won the lottery?
I'm like, the cheesier, the better.
We go on date nights every week.
So, you know, the people at work that know me, they're like, oh, you're so, like, hard. I'm like, it's Jouhayna. Jouhayna.
My wife said, oh, when I met you, I didn't really like you.
If I'm, like, experiencing suffering, I'd be like, suffering. I'm upsetting. And these are, like, literally how I would express my emotions.